I'm going to critique the most expensive penthouse that's for sale in Mumbai, India. So if you decide to buy a penthouse, you won't make the same mistakes. And then I'm going to give it an Arvin score based on my 10 principles of quality at the end of the video. I'm Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy a Penthouse guy. Let's watch this video together.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna be careful.
This is our first time in India, and the energy here is incredible. Mumbai is one of the most dynamic places in the world. The density on the ground and the luxury suspended above the skyline create an atmosphere unlike anything I've seen before.
Let's pause it right there. Let me give you some data about Mumbai, India, so you kind of know what you're dealing with here. Mumbai is kind of the LA and New York of India. It's got Bollywood, which is a humongous industry, but it also got finances, and it's also got the trade, the port, the main port of India is in Mumbai. And for those reasons, it's one of the wealthiest and one of the most prosperous, industrious cities in India. Most of the billionaires in India live in Mumbai, and there's frankly about 200 of them. The third highest population of billionaires anywhere in the world after US and China.
We're here to visit 360 West, one of the most luxurious residential offerings in all of India. With a range of amenities beyond belief, a 5-star hotel and 220 residences. We'll be focused on the 45th floor, a full floor residence featuring 16,000 square feet of European-inspired aesthetic. A welcoming tranquility high above the bustling city streets of Mumbai.
Those are the slums. Okay, I said the positive, I have to say the negative too. I mean, if you consider it negative, it's just the reality of growth. India is where China was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and possibly where Nigeria is also today. I would compare them very similar vibe and energy to Lagos in Nigeria. What's happening is that there's a humongous gap between the ultra rich, right, and the extreme poor. There's over 20 million people who live in Mumbai. Majority of them are, poor or, even below poverty line. As to about 20,000 people in Mumbai have an income of $1 million and higher. So they really don't have a middle class. And it's so shocking when you see this, that you see the slums before the ocean view. It's very odd, right? And it's not normal to your eye if you live in Europe or United States, but this is the reality of the developing world. This is growth. This is a story of growth.
I think it's going to be one of the best offerings to the city in terms of a great landmark for local and international people.
I don't know about a landmark. Architecturally speaking, this building already looks dated. Supposedly it took over 10 years to be built, and it went through a pause phase, and that's never good in a humid area where, like this building, you see this seems like been kind of rotten for some time and the construction has stopped on it. You don't want that in construction because the elements, the humidity, all the elements are so strong in this part of the world, how close you are to the equator, that it really could ruin the actual structure integrity of a property. And this property had that phase as well before it was completed. But what's most concerning is your proximity to the ocean. You see this construction right next to you? You see high rises everywhere. So I would be really worried about the views getting blocked. And from the forums I've looked into, it seems like there's a bunch of buildings that are popping out that could potentially block the view of some of the units in this building. So do your due diligence before you purchase a unit.
Before we arrive, let's dive a little deeper into the details of this development. 360 West is a 2-tower structure, clearly visible in the skyline of the coastal Worli neighborhood of Mumbai. Tower B is 853 feet tall with 66 floors. A purely residential building offering from 1-bedroom to 4-bedroom units with a wide range of amenities. Tower A is 839 feet tall with 52 floors, and 27 of those floors are residences. 1 residence per floor, 16,000 square feet each, including the one we're touring on the 45th floor.
This is fascinating because there were a couple partners who built this 2-tower structure together. One of them started having financial issues and ended up selling these 27 floors to its other partner at a humongous discount, bulk deal, $900 a foot. Now, this is listed for $31,000 a foot. So he's developing them, he's finishing them and trying to sell them one by one, but also at the same time controlling the supply, so he can set comps and have successful sales throughout the next few years.
The contractor who built these structures also built the Burj Khalifa and the Petronas Twin Towers. And I got a chance to speak with the developers at Oberoi Realty, who brought this project to life. Vikas and Gayatri, an actual power couple. I really enjoyed my conversation with them, and I admired the way they approached their work.
Firstly, let me tell you that, rather warn you, that I love my work so much that I don't find anything challenging about it.
That's him. Okay, he's the one who bought the 27. He was a partner from the beginning, but he bought out his troubled partner at a huge discount. Now he's trying to flip the units.
Now we're at the gates of 360 West. The moment you pass the gates of the development, the tone immediately changes. You leave the hustle and bustle of the city behind you. You can feel the seclusion, you can feel the separation from the city. And when you look at the development from the grounds, these 2 towers are extremely tall, modern, contemporary, striking, and they really have a strong presence against the city landscape.
I disagree. They actually completely blend with the other buildings. Architecturally, I don't find either one of them significant. They already look dated. There's no architectural element about them that stands out to me that is like, wow. It actually blends in really well if that was the goal. Now, the most important part that he said is that the vibe changed entering this complex. Because you got to think about it. If you live in Mumbai, why would you pay $50 million for one unit when you can buy, a very good piece of land and build it like a 3-story, villa with a basement for yourself and have your own property for significantly less than this price? And the answer to that is security. Security is often an issue. That if you remember, there was an issue a few years ago, maybe 10 years ago or so, some terrorists attacked a building or a hotel, and also just crime, gangs, the difference between the classes and the poverty, it creates this security concern for the ultra rich to stick together and create a world of separation, create their own world, their own environment that says a different story than the rest of the city. Okay, it's like an island within the city that they get to experience the luxurious things that they want without being exposed to the slums, to the pollution, to the overcrowdedness, and all the other elements that are out there. And these are just realities of the developing world. The owners of these units travel overseas all the time. They're in London, New York, Dubai, and even though their business is here, they want to create an island that protects them, that they could kind of shut their eye on everything else and feel at home.
The unit that we're going to be touring is actually located within Tower A, the first tower. But the lobby of that tower and the arrival experience of that tower is still under construction. And that's why we're actually taking you to Tower B, which is located on the back. As soon as you walk in, you're simply wowed with the scale of this space. Take it all in. You have oversized hallways, beautiful decor. Now, on this level, we have the elevators going up to the residential units, access to amenities, and of course, the reception is right behind me.
Not bad. I mean, the aesthetics is very timeless. They're really going neutral and they're keeping it very simple, very high ceilings, great volumes, great hallway width, and very minimalistic. There's a undertone of mid-century element into the whole building that you can kind of feel. So far, so good. If any critique of the lobby, I would say more natural plants, indoor plants, for how tropical and close to equator you are. I think that greenery would have gone a really long way with the color palette they're working, brown and beige. I think it would have given that kind of a tropical oasis clean air, getting away from the air pollution, which is pretty bad in Mumbai, coming in and really having that breath of fresh air inside would have been cool.
I wanted all of you to get a feel of this arrival experience before we go into the elevator and go up to the 45th floor so we can properly start our tour. Now, arriving to this level is really special. And given that this is a full floor unit, it comes with a spacious lobby area.
That's pretty cool. Since all the units are entire floors, you get that entering your property with the elevator. That's a big plus. You want to have that privacy, right? You want to have that separation from all the other billionaires who live over here. So it's cool.
This unit has a really big footprint, and that's why it comes with 2 entries. We have the first door right behind me and the second door right in front of us. The design here is really cool. This pivot door features these unique patterns, and it is painted to look like bronze. And to tie it all together, they also have this oversized bronze handle. And when you take it all in, walnut paneling, these light European oak hardwood floors, they really set a warm, welcoming tone for this foyer.
Can you spot the flaw? I sometimes pause the frame and ask my subscribers to spot the flaw. I give you guys 3 seconds. Please subscribe in the meantime. 3, 2, 1. Low ceilings. It's so obvious, right? For a property of this caliber, this to me has the bones of a much older building. Even from the exterior looked older, and the interior, just the ceiling heights for ultra luxury. This is normal. This is just luxury. It's not ultra luxury. It's very low. Now, it's going to show itself more when you see wider spaces. You will see that the height to width to length ratio is going to scream like low ceilings.
And then you have these vertical wooden slats creating some separation between the indoor garden and the formal living room. And right in the center of this foyer, we got this gorgeous water feature.
It doesn't fit in whatsoever. I don't think the color black should have been introduced at this place at all. It does not go. It stands out in the wrong way. I think that color of the door, that should have been continued. You've already introduced 2 different tones of wood, a dark one and a light one, which is risky on its own. Now you're introducing black. It completely kills the vibe. I think the color of that brass color door, and also had it like a metal top. I think that was real brass, but the door was painted brass. You should have continued that tone. You should have given it a little bit of continuity. This just pops out, doesn't do anything. It gives more of an office vibe. I think the choice of marble is weak, and also I don't like the sharp edges. I really like that rounded edges by the door and that soft touch. It gave a really pleasant, comfortable feel to it, and this really breaks it, and I don't like that at all.
And having this marble fabricated water feature sets a zen, relaxing tone.
The water does. Like that soft, like just water dripping, it does. But the color, the shape, it completely counters what you had going on with all the other elements you had introduced.
And to tie it all together, they have this beautiful wooden sculpture that is made out of so many layers of veneers that are glued together, sanded and sculpted to create this amazing piece.
Beautiful. So you see these like round edges that they've introduced right off the bat, and the art and the sculptures. I'm digging it. I think it's really cool, and it goes with that whole kind of a mid-century wood paneling that they had going on. I like this, and especially you got to look at the city, right? This is an intense city. This is like one of those really like you get out, like it's going to be like an intense experience every day you go to work, and when you come back, it just, these elements just drops your shoulder, relaxes you. I like it a lot.
Now, not only we have these wooden slats to create some separation between spaces, these wooden slats also hide these steel frame glass doors to increase the separation between the rooms. And when you flow this way, it takes you to the formal living room.
And you can see how the ceiling heights really shows itself over here. This is luxury, not ultra luxury. If you're trying to tell me this is the best unit that is on the market for sale in India, I'm sorry, the ceiling heights are low. It seems like an older building that was remodeled, not a new construction that it's taking into account the proper ceiling heights for ultra luxury.
There are so many details here that I want to acknowledge and talk about. And before we do any of that, why don't we get the specs of this unit out of the way? We have 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, 16,000 square feet of interior space, on the market for $50 million.
I know what you're thinking. Arvin, $50 million in Mumbai. I want an elephant. I want a 22 karat gold plated needle bed and a Maharaja on top of it meditating 24 hours. Look, it all has to do with supply and demand, okay? This could be very much so priced well. If this is the top level and nothing else is available at this level of bespoke finishes, right? Because I have to say, the interior is excellently executed. They've done a really good job. Like, it pays homage to the mid-century elements, and then they're dancing pretty nicely between the brass elements, marble, the wood paneling, the texture, the plants. For me, it's like one element too many, but overall, the palette is beautiful. It's very calming. I think you have to experience it in person, one of those places where you have to go outside in Mumbai and like goof around for 8 hours and be stuck in the traffic and then come here and just be like, ugh, okay? But I'm really curious how this space connects with the rest of the house, okay? So I haven't given it the green light, but again, just don't be so quick to judge and say, okay, the 50 million is too much, because you only need one buyer. And if this owner is controlling the supply and there's no other unit in Mumbai with these type of finishes, I can tell you there's enough people in Mumbai who would say, you know what, I'll buy it. So let's see if the bones is actually good. The rooms are connecting so much, because the biggest concern I have so far is 5 bedrooms for 50 million. That's $10 million a bedroom. That's not enough. It better be extremely well spaced together. The layout should be really, really pleasant. Let's find out.
I love the travertine coffee tables. Curating this space was very important to the development team and the interior designer, Dieter. When you look around, you see the books, candles, pillows, and all the textures used in this house were extremely intentional.
I love the coffee tables. Beautiful, beautiful. Copy that. That is beautiful. Just fits so well. I love the way it plays out. Overall, the palette, even the painting, I really, really like. Well done.
Now also, right behind me, we have this gorgeous fireplace. Now I say fireplace, but this is actually a faux fireplace, given that India has such warm climate. You don't need a fireplace.
No, wait a minute. It's a fake fireplace, bro? Is that basically what he said?
Now I say fireplace, but this is actually a faux fireplace.
Look, aesthetically it looks cool, but like when you have guests over and they say, hey, you want to turn it on? Like, and you're like, hey, it doesn't turn on. Sorry. It's kind of embarrassing.
That's a bummer. Okay.
They wanted to create a statement here, a focal point, and that's why they fabricated this elaborate piece, the Calcutta viola lower section, and then you have bronze paneling throughout.
This is actually pretty brilliant. It's a column, right? The columns are not in the center, they're at the edges of the thing, so they kind of block your view, but they've turned the negative into a positive. They're like, okay, we can't really have a fireplace here, but let's pretend we do and give it a focal point, and we take the attention away from column just being repetitive, right? Because there's one on that side, they've left that, but you don't think of it as a column. Like, it took me even a few seconds to realize it's a column. They're trying to hide something here. It's pretty smart.
Now, next up, I want to take everybody to the formal dining room. You have a gorgeous marble table that sits 12, 2 chandeliers above, and the same plaster ceiling continues. And you can certainly enjoy the views as you're having an amazing meal here. But I have to bring everybody to this side to talk about the stone fabrication here. The walnut cabinetry and the built-in design here is quite spectacular. This is the same Calcutta viola, and the fabrication here between the cabinetry, the recessed in handles, this beautiful back wall that is book matched.
Pay attention to that kind of a yellow hue in the marble. That really helps it blend in with the lighter floors and the darker wood paneling on each side. Great execution again. And that continuity of the marble, I like it. Again, I think they've introduced one color too much. I would say the black, because that dining table is also black. But overall, I think it's a very well executed space as far as interior design, finishes. It's kind of quiet luxury.
Now, next up, we have the doors here opening up to the main kitchen that we're going to see in a second. But first, I want to take you to this space. Welcome to the screening room. This really beautiful, inviting, intimate space with 9 leather recliner chairs that are
so ugly. That are very, very ugly. Horrible. What is this? Like a business class seat on Indian Airlines? What the hell is going on? It's so ugly. No one does these chairs anymore. You got to go with the lounge, lounge it out. And if you're doing it, you really want those recliner chairs. You don't want this, right? This is just very ugly.
Then you have the projector on this side, your screen, fabric walls with walnut inlays, mood lighting throughout. I mean, it's a really nice space to enjoy. And given that it is located within the center of the unit, it makes great use of the space because you don't have any windows, which is perfect for a screening room.
I think this is so far the worst thing we've seen in the unit. But what's important is that it's calling out the right demographic, right? This is, remember, Bollywood. It's centered in Mumbai. It's also there, Los Angeles and New York. Okay, so the fact that it's kind of calling out that actor in Bollywood that just had a huge hit and has got a lot of money to spend and wants to buy a unit. There you go. You got a movie theater.
And now the main kitchen. This is a really fun space. The layout, the configuration here is quite unique. And on this side, you can see the built-in cabinetry with glass fronts, extra storage. And then we have a door here that leads you to the staff quarters where we have multiple bedrooms.
Oh my God. Is it a detention center? Holy moly. You shouldn't have shown this. This is inhumane. Talking about wealth disparity, this is horrible. Come on, guys. This is like below the standard for a jail cell in the Western Hemisphere. This is really bad.
There's also a small pantry here, and going this way you can see the first island of the kitchen, and over on the other side we have the second island with quartz countertops.
What the hell was that? Why were the islands set up in such a weird way? Is this like a culinary school where like the chef is in the center and the students sit down and like copy the chef? Why was it set up this way? Horrible design. I don't like it at all. This is very, very industrious, I would say. It's not a cozy kitchen whatsoever.
And I really like how the main section of the cabinetry is capitalizing on it. Here we have the sink.
Oh my God, what is that pillar doing over there? Next to that tiny little sink? This is a horrible kitchen. And considering how much I love Indian food, this is a disgrace to Indian cuisine. Come on, you could have done way better than this. It's not giving me kitchen vibes at all or a hangout vibe whatsoever.
And over on this side, we have two Miele induction cooktops. Now these induction cooktops are great, but I think these vents are actually even cooler. Not only they light up the space, they also come down. So when you're cooking, they're a little bit closer.
Wait a minute. Is that the fan? That's not connected to anything. Is that induction cooktop? Where is the, how is the, does it do magic? Are these supposed to take the smoke out? How? India has invented a new cooktop hood that we don't know about.
The other thing about this kitchen that I really like is the fact that the exterior parameter of this kitchen is really open. So you can freely walk around, pick the spot you want to enjoy it.
You don't even have stools there. Enes, what the hell are you talking about? They just did not know where to put the counters. This is the worst kitchen layout I've ever seen in my life. And you're trying to block the view of all the other units looking into your kitchen? Oh, look at that. There's a building right there. I just caught it. That's some of your ocean view. I just saw it for the first time. Here we go. You naughty. You, Enes, you naughty boy. You've been hiding that building, haven't you? You very naughty boy. The forums were right. I did some research before watching it to see what people are saying. And there's a building that is right across and is being constructed. And supposedly blocks the view of a lot of the units below the 45th floor. And this is right there. And Enes was trying to hide it, and I caught him. So it's really interesting. The developer is super smart. You naughty boy. You come and renovate the lowest unit out of the whole collection, set the comp to make sure he does it before it sells, before that building actually finishes. So you can set the comp on the lowest unit and then raise the price as you go up, where at some point it's going to clear the view. Naughty.
The tower we're standing in offers something different. And this is where this tour gets really fun. You see, starting from the 28th floor all the way to the very top of the building, every single residence is a full floor unit.
Okay, let's pause it right there. First of all, oh my God, look at the slums over here. it's crazy that you look through that to see the ocean view, which looks really disgusting. It looks toxic. Again, these are the realities. Like, I come from the third world country, okay? Iran, Tehran. I was born into like a developing world, so I'm super comfortable with this stuff. These are like the realities of like 21 million people living in one city with not a proper sewage system, not air quality control, and it's just a lot of filth, right? The water looks disgusting, the air looks disgusting. But as far as real estate is concerned, this empty piece of land, I bet you it's going to get developed. I promise you in the next 20, 30 years, somebody's going to go buy these slums out and they're going to put waterfront buildings here. Same as over here. This is prime real estate. At some point, when the city has financial problems, it's going to go through eminent domain, buy out all these people and sell this land to developers. And this, at one point in 30, 40 years, this building is going to have really crappy views. I promise you. It's going to happen. This is exactly what happens. There's no regulation as far as air rights and all that stuff. Forget about it. Just because you're the tallest tower, it doesn't mean that will last for that many years.
So far, we've covered the formal living room and this beautiful foyer, and I pointed out these wooden slats and how they've used these sections as opportunities to hide these steel-cased glass doors. But the next space that we're going to tour is actually the indoor garden.
Wait, I really hope that kitchen connects on the other side from the, prison cells for the maids, connects to the family quarters and the family bedrooms. Because so far, this is like a football field away from where the family is going to hang out, right? That was the formal living space, the dining room. Where is the family room? That's what I'm looking for.
And the entire room is glass enclosed. And in fact, these French doors lead you into the space. We have travertine floors, and as you walk into the room, the first thing you see
is the Courtyard Marriott lobby. This is really disappointing. I'm not getting garden vibe whatsoever. Plants they're using, they're super, super boring, except these, like, I don't know, it's the elephant ear. That's the only one I like. The rest of them are like, this is a lobby of a 3-star hotel. This is the problem of having too much square footage, okay? Sometimes you run into this problem. This is a very long volume, and it just so far is room to room to room. So you had the kitchen, you had the dining room, that made sense. And then you have the formal living room, but then where's the family room? That's creating a major separation between the family room. Again, I hope this wraps around on the other side will connect to the family room. But then you have this space, you have the foyer. That was another space that you had to go. But then you have this space that you don't know what to do with. You've turned it into a garden. And now we can see a bar on the other side. Again, this space, it's not a garden. To me, it's the extension of the foyer of the house.
And when you're ready, or you want to take your entertainment to the next level, you come to this elegant bar area. The walnut built-ins, your wine cellars, the open shelving here with mood lighting.
This is not a bar. This looks like a kitchen. And the wine cellar is super small and very disappointing. These two spaces should have been one. I think it was a huge mistake of disconnecting them, trying to do two different rooms right next to each other. It just now feels room to room to room to room, right? Could have been a game room, adult entertainment. Should have really connected well with each other. You didn't need to tell two different stories next to each other. It's like someone got excited to try different things in different locations because they had too much square footage, but those spaces are not going to get used. And this bar looks more like a kitchen than a bar to me. It doesn't give me the adult entertainment fun vibe whatsoever.
And I just love these natural materials, textures, stone elements like the flooring here, and all these built-ins with glass dividers, allowing light to travel and allowing you to enjoy your indoor garden even from this space. And it also creates a great opportunity for all these shelves, for these books, accessories, and these little moments to exist. What a beautiful design. And I think the interior designer of this project, Dieter van der Welpen, with the team at Oberoi, did a phenomenal job curating this European aesthetic.
So this designer is from Belgium. I've heard that name before, and they do this kind of Scandinavian mid-century design really well. And I think it's an appropriate interior design for the location. I do. There's an element of that like 1960s in Middle Eastern, East Asia, South Asia, that resonates with the demographics really well. The 60s boom from Lebanon to Karachi to Mumbai to New Delhi, Tehran. These are Islamabad. They went through a boom in the 60s where that color of the 1960s is kind of resonating in the palette of the older generation. So I think it would do well. I really do think it would do well. And it was a good choice of interior finish architecture firm to hire for this project.
This blend of local resources and contemporary European sensibility was brought to life when the Oberoi team started collaborating with Dieter van der Belpen, a Belgian designer with a global resume.
You know, he's such a good guy, very difficult to not like. At a very small fee, he agreed to give us a concept. If I may say that from the original concept, we have probably reproduced 85 to 90% of what he showed us on day one. He was that spot on.
Wow, impressive. See, some people have that visualization, right? Not bragging about myself, but I can see a layout and see problems ahead, not just design wise, but like I could walk through a layout and critique it just like I'm watching a video. I have that capability, right? And that's why, I have a 5-day workshop. You can sign up. You can present, like we talk about layouts, the flaws within a layout, how to improve a layout or architectural style, all that stuff. And the fact that 80-90% of the design was actually implemented, so far so good. But I'm really curious about the layout, because so far the layout score at the end of the video is not going to be good if they do not attempt to fix all these issues, because there's a ton of issues as far as connectivity goes with this layout so far.
Now, leaving the bar, to my left, we have the doors opening up to the primary bedroom suite, and we're gonna tour that last. But for now, I wanna bring everybody this way to showcase this long, elegant, gracious hallway.
There's nothing good about hallways, and you can see the rooms the way connected on the other side. You didn't really need a hallway because they put the stacked rooms after each other and they just partitioned them to kind of create separation. But on this side, they're the bedrooms, okay? So you have to have that hallway to connecting it.
And right in the center, we have the first guest suite. The room is extremely spacious
and beautiful. Great palette. You see that like kind of element of mid-centuries there. You see these round elements. I love that. It really softens the look and really gives you that level of comfort that round, sharp edges don't.
Now, let's go check out the bathroom for this room. Pocket door on this side. Travertine that is cross-cut throughout the floors, throughout the walls, and even the vanity is fabricated out of the same travertine.
I think the best thing about this design is that it's not going to age bad. It's going to age really well. And as I said, it resonates with the older demographic, the newer demographics in India. I think everyone would like it. I think they've done a really good job with the choice of palette, color, finishes for the location.
Beautiful bathroom. Now, to my right, we have the separate water closet, another pocket door that takes you to the walk-in closet, and the space is well utilized from the floor all the way to the ceiling.
Okay, this is not bad for a guest suite closet. It just completely, we forgot about the whole mid-century element. It became very black. I don't know what they were doing, but I hope they've done something different for the primary.
And next door, we have the junior primary bedroom. Now, even though I said junior primary bedroom, this is technically the second primary bedroom of this unit. Now, oftentimes, families or individuals in India that own properties like this, they tend to have their family members or even their parents stay with them.
But you have 5 bedrooms only. I mean, that's not that good. 2 for the, let's say 2 kids they have, 1 for the family, and then 1 for the grandpa and grandma, and then 1 for guests, and 50 million? Not enough. Not you need at least like 6-7 bedrooms.
Now, we're gonna tour this room reverse, meaning we're gonna continue with the walk-in closet, which features the same finishes, design elements, these glass fronts, but obviously the scale is bigger. It also features the same hardwood floors, this gorgeous light fixture, and it seamlessly flows into the bathroom. Now, there's no denying that the design palette and the material selection of this unit is so tasteful and timeless. The Arbescado marble here that's used on the floors as well as the walls is beautiful.
I don't like this contrast between this color wood and marble. It's not as good. And the difference is there's no tone of this wood within that marble. That's what you got to do. Like, you got to look at your material you're using, and when you're picking that marble, you want to find a tone in the veins of the marble you're picking that matches the other products you're using. You have to look close by with the marble. See, what are the undertone? Like the other one, when they had that kind of a yellowish hue, it really brought both those very different color woods together. It actually was like the connecting piece. It was the glue of the room. Over here, it's such a sharp contrast. It's not ugly, but it sticks out. It's not harmonious to the eye.
Now, let's go this way. The entry of the bathroom has this really cool desk, and beyond the views that you can enjoy here, it is nice that they've custom designed and fabricated furniture pieces to really accommodate the spaces and moments in this unit. This is an interesting corner, but given that this desk fits perfectly and carries out the same material selection from the bathroom in here, is a very nice touch. And on top of that, we also have one of the two terraces of this unit located here. So you have outdoor access, you can enjoy the views a little bit more.
Okay, that's really, really small. I hope there's another terrace that incorporates a dining area, barbecue area, maybe a small plunge pool, right? This would be like, again, this price point, these are the things that would make the property stand out.
Now, over here, you can see the bedroom section of this amazing suite. You have a comfortable seating area here, minimalist furniture, your recessed TV with bronze accent walls. And then over on the other side, we have a poster king-size bed. So the frame really owns its space. You have your brass light fixtures that are ceiling mount, beautiful suede padded back walls, your bedside tables, even a small built-in section here. But the focal point of this room is the view on this side. The city of Mumbai
has a really bad beach. It looks disgusting. It's like literally there's slums on the beach. That's crazy. Like that's all going to get changed. But what you shouldn't be distracted by is that the rooms were great size. Proportions were fantastic. Really, really good. But I think that was a mistake for what he just said earlier, which I agree with him. There's a lot of multi-generational living happening in this part of the world, right? They congregate together. As the parents get older, they move in with their kids and grandkids. And 5 bedrooms is just not enough. And then when you think about the price, $50 million, you can buy a townhouse in Chelsea for $50 million. Or in New York, you could buy a townhouse, like a humongous townhouse in New York. And to me, to just get one floor is ridiculously priced high, really, really high. But again, if I don't know, I haven't seen the other products in Mumbai, but it seems like there's a lot of penthouses available. There's a lot of buildings out there. So you really have to look at the inventory of what's available and what will be available at what location. But to me, just my gut feeling, 50 million for this unit is astonishingly high, especially with how many empty lots are in front of it where the views could get blocked.
Now, I want to showcase the other wing of this unit where we have the family room and this open kitchen design. And the island here takes inspiration from the vanities. And the entire thing is stone fabricated between the countertop and the cabinetry here with the recessed handles. And then you have the walnut extension here as your built-in dining area. Let's not forget the alabaster light fixtures. And on the back, we have the built-ins.
What I like about it, it feels like a $3 million kitchen. The size of the kitchen and the family room are super, super small. I really don't think you would use most of this unit. I think you would only use this section. And that goes to say that I don't think they allocated the right space of the unit to the actual living quarters of the unit. So it was mostly for the show. Over 50% of the unit was for the 2-3 times you're going to have people over a year to kind of show off, or events or formal dinners and stuff. And you only get to use a very small portion of the unit. And I'm completely against that mentality. Okay, if you want to learn how I would set up a layout, right? What elements within a layout make a layout valuable? What are the 10 elements that makes a layout score a 10? You got to sign up for the 5-day workshop. First 3 days, I teach you guys about the 10 principles of quality. Day 4 and day 5, we utilize those principles to find out how to purchase properties, how to renovate properties, how to design properties, how to build properties. Like, it's a complete workshop. Link is in the description. There's a 100% money back guarantee. And I can tell you, I would not have designed this way. I would have personally allocated significantly more, better location, better square footage to the actual kitchen that you're going to hang out in and the family room, because these two spaces are tiny. They don't equate to a $50 million price tag for me. For me, that $50 million living room and kitchen that you're actually going to use day in, day out should feel like a $50 million kitchen and living room that you're going to hang out. This looks to me a $3 million. A $3-4 million could be in any city. It will be around the same size, same square footage that you would get to use. And that's like, why would you go pay 50 then? It doesn't make any sense to me.
The cabinetry carries out the same plaster finish, and when you open it up, we have the sink here nicely tucked in. You have your countertop space, and over on this side, we have a Miele wine fridge and another espresso maker, and this is where we have the Miele fridge.
That was a tiny fridge. That was a really, really small fridge. Again, this is like the show kitchen is really for the show. I don't think you would actually do proper cooking here. That was a very, very small kitchen.
It's a really nice kitchen, but beyond that, it also has another one of these outdoor spaces. Again, glass enclosed, and now that we have connection to the outdoors, we have travertine floors, all these oversized planters, and you just open up the sliding glass doors and interact with the city. And I just love how seamless the connection between this space and the kitchen area is.
Can you spot the $2 million flaw right here? $2 million. If it had this one element, it would have been worth $2 million more. I give you guys 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. First of all, the outdoor terraces of this unit is what, 1% of the square footage? That's abnormal. Even 5,000, 6,000 square foot penthouses anywhere in the world would have more outdoor terraces than this. There's no depth to any of these terraces. If I was in charge of designing this layout, I would have 100% allocated a bigger space for terraces and would have had outdoor dining over there to enjoy the views. I would have had maybe a plunge pool, a small pool that you could dip so you don't have to go to the community pool where there's going to be hundreds of people, hotel guests, God knows how many other people. Like, the number one thing in India and in developing world is privacy and security. If the buyer that you're trying to attract, who could for much cheaper price, could go buy a parcel of land, build it for much cheaper, a villa with a swimming pool, one of the elements that they would want is privacy. And if you could have given their swimming pool on a terrace, an outdoor terrace, kind of given that backyard that they would have got in a villa that they could have built themselves in a penthouse, and said, guess what? You get to have an outdoor area like you would have had in your villa house if you would have built yourself. You get to have a plunge pool. You get a bigger swimming pool downstairs if you want to go do laps, but you also get views. See, that's the argument. That's the checkbox list that you have to go through to identify the avatars. What is that avatar thinking? That's what I do in my consulting, my 5-day workshop. That's what I talk about. It's like, what avatar wants what? And what are the elements within each 10 principle of quality that makes them happy? That's the, reverse engineering the goosebump effect, okay? That's what I've done. I've taken the effect of what makes people happy, which demographics get happy by what, reverse engineer it into these 10 principles, and package it and study it. So when you're building, remodeling, you won't make mistakes. And when you put your property for sale, the highest, best demographics in your city will be attracted to that product.
Now I want to take everybody to the hallway. And before we check out the next guest suite, I want to mention something. Given the footprint and the layout of this unit, we have a lot of these concealed doors that open up to hallways and connection points that take you to the other wing very easily.
It's good to have this connection. I was expecting this and I'm glad we got it. It's very like lobbyish. It's not a pleasant thing to go through in your own house, right? It kind of snaps you out like you left your unit and now you're going to another unit. It doesn't seem connected. But I just don't think you would go to the other side of the house if you live here. I think you would spend the whole time over here. Why would you go through this long hallway? Like, you don't have, again, I don't think there's enough functionality on the other side to actually use it. And the connectivity, and this is all discouraging, right? To go to the other side. What I like about it is the fact that you get everything on the one floor. I think that's fantastic. But the layout so far, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not ideal either.
And then to my right, we have the second guest suite. The texture and color palette of this room really speaks to me. this fabric back wall design with bronze inlays, and how these brown tones are carried to the king size bed, and the carpet design here just warms up the space. And around the corner you have your walk-in closet, and the pocket door here opens up to the bathroom. The entire space is fabricated out of marble with marble walls.
Another great size bedroom. The bedroom sizes are fantastic. Definitely, ultra luxury level sizes, dimensions, how generous they are. Each one of them in their own right are a primary suite.
We have the third guest suite around the corner. Now this guest suite features the same layout, comes with a king size bed, full bathroom, and also has these amazing views. And right behind Dell, we have the gym. But before we get there, we have one more room to see. Here, we have the massage room with its own salon, a little hair washing station, your mirrors, built-ins. But if you go to the other side, you will see the separation between these two spaces, thanks to the pocket doors here that feature the same wallpaper that we have throughout. And you have additional built-ins here, your comfortable massage table, sculptures, all these accessories, another pocket door that opens up your travertine vanity and this portal design. And lastly, around the corner, same wooden slats, create some separation between the massage room and your open shower design with a rain head above.
I was expecting a sauna, dry sauna, steam sauna. This should have been a whole set. Again, I don't get the need for a massage bed. Yes, it's really nice to have. When you're getting a massage, you could be on any bed. You're facing down, you're closing your eyes, you're probably snoozing, and it doesn't need to be have its own room. To me, it's again, it could be a much smaller room.
Now next, you have the gym. So far, we've seen many interesting rooms, moments, and there's an element of surprise when it comes to this unit. And when you walk into the gym, you get that same feeling. Because right in the center, you have this really cool pool table that is leather wrapped. It just looks like a piece of art right in the center as the focal point. And then you have all the built-ins on this side for storage, your TV, and the room has 2 exposures.
That's not a gym. Come on. That's like a boxing bag and 2 equipment to do cardio. It's again, this is kind of dancing in between a gym and a game room. You see, the big problem with this unit is trying to do 16,000 square foot on one level. I've said this in my other videos too. And especially with a core that is all concrete and it just throws you all at the outer edges. It's not ideal. It's a really weird layout. It's by definition, at birth, it had a layout problem, and you have to go room to room to room to room, kind of this kind of a train track to go through the house. And okay, there's a shortcut in the middle, but then it's just not efficient. To me, this is neither a gym or a game room.
Given that you live at 360 West, you have 2 towers that are packed with amenities for you to enjoy as well. When you live in a full-floor luxury residence, you can tailor your own experiences and activities. But 360 West was designed to foster a well-developed community too. Between the amenities of the residential towers and the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, the list of places to gather, exercise, and unwind is impressive.
Very impressive. This is important. This is cool. You really don't have to leave your building. You could do everything there, get it out, and then go back to your unit, and also entertain your friends, right? I can imagine the locals who are not as wealthy as you would love to come check out this building.
And now the primary bedroom suite. Off of its entry, we have this small foyer with dark wood paneling, this beautiful dresser, and then the pocket door here leads you to the bedroom itself. Comes with a spacious seating area. Your king-size bed is tucked to the left, and as you can see, the scale of the room is very grand. Walls of glass, bringing these views straight into the room. Great natural light coming in, and I really like the palette here. Light European oak hardwood floors against these dark wood paneling throughout the room.
Beautiful space. Again, great volume, great size for a primary, great finishes. I love this mid-century kind of softer round tones. It really relaxes you. I think they've done a really good job so far.
Let's continue our tour with this transition space. Now, to my left, we have a water closet.
What a beautiful marble. You see, like at the entrance where they had that, water fountain, black water fountain, this marble would have done amazingly. That was the vibe. That was the color. That's the great pop that will break that and go with the other finishes that had worked on the wall and everything. That black marble just killed the vibe over there.
Now, next up, we have the primary bathroom. Without a doubt, one of the coolest spaces, and what really speaks to me in this room is the green jade onyx.
Even the most beautiful stone, you overdo it, you take the power away from it. I love this stone. But there's no way I would have used this much of it in this room at all. You take the punch, you take all the power out. And this is going to show its age immediately. As if you would have used it as an accent, it would have been so much more like one wall, two wall, maybe only the, floors or maybe the shower walls or maybe the bathtub. You can't do all of it. When you do that, it just tells me you really got excited. Right? When you saw the stone, you were like, you know what? We're just going to slap it everywhere. And it's expensive. And it's going to show up. It's beautiful, but overused.
Really nice bathroom. And I can't get enough of it. Now, next up, welcome to the walk-in closet. This is the biggest closet in the entire unit. You'll have your solid wood cabinetry as well as the built-in section here with the glass fronts.
And it's small. This is like you should have had. This should be his and hers. And again, like they really missed the mid-century element on the closet. They didn't know what to do. It really, to me, it's a big break from what else was happening. But this is small for his and hers.
And next, I want to take you to the terrace. As soon as you open up these sliding glass doors, you can hear the hustle and bustle of Mumbai.
It's such a small terrace. It's tiny. It's really, really tiny. Horrible outdoor space. I can't believe they didn't think this out. This should have been incorporated. Again, it tells me maybe they were thinking about initial thought of the design of the building was there's going to be like a lot of rooms, maybe hotel rooms, or the whole building is going to be Ritz-Carlton residences. And it was never actually designed to be a single family home. It tells me that right off the bat. It's so obvious because it would have allocated significantly higher outdoor space for a 16,500 square foot penthouse. Okay, let me give you guys the Arvin score for this penthouse. But before I do that, if you're planning to purchase a property, on Thursdays, I go live where you can come and ask your questions about a property you're planning to buy, and I will give you an answer. Okay, location. I'm going to give this location a 7. To me, if you're going for a penthouse in Mumbai, in the city, you do not want to have your view blocked. And for that, you have to be the front row. Building amenities. I'm going to give it a 8. It just, the finishes and everything, it looked developing world. It did not look Ritz-Carlton to me, but it literally had everything. HOA. Frankly, I'm not going to make this shut up. I don't know the HOA. I don't know what the situation on the HOA is. You do your own research on that one. To me, it seems like there's a lot of empty units still being built. To me, more importantly, the price is really, really high if I was going to fill that in. But I'm going to give it a 5 for the sake of the scores. Privacy. You had a couple buildings very close by and a new one being constructed pretty damn close to you. I will give it a 7. Lot orientation. I'm going to give it a 10. It's a whole floor. You get south, east, west, north, all the orientation. You're going to get a lot of natural light coming in. Architectural style of the building is 6. I don't think they really made a mistake, but it completely blended out. Nothing historically or culturally or innovative in any way. Very normal looking building. Views. I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful. Love you guys in Mumbai, but it's not the most beautiful city. I know you got a beach and ocean. It doesn't look clean. And the city high rises also, the buildings themselves are not that pretty. I don't think there's a place where in Mumbai that would get a 10 score. And considering these views, some of it would be obstructed. I'm going to give it a 6. And it goes to a point that, do you really want a view in Mumbai? Might be better to just have a villa. Like, I think a penthouse living in Mumbai is for a particular buyer. Layout. I have to give it a 4. It just, that square footage in this square shaped border going around, it was just a lot of walking, a lot of square footage. You only get to use about 40% of the property 95% of the time. which is a big no in my book. Scale and volume. The rooms were amazing. The bedrooms were amazing. The formal living room was really good. But the family room and the actual kitchen, really small. And then the ceiling heights were really low throughout the whole the unit, because I feel like it was designed to be hotel rooms, not an ultra high-end building. It was converted. A decision was made after the design phase. Finishes. I'm going to give the finishes an 8. I thought they did an incredible job for especially the location. I think this should be one of the best finished units in all of India. As far as not just the choice of material, but the cohesiveness of the design, the palette. I think it was, again, one too many elements, but overall, I think finishes were definitely an 8. Here's the Arvin score. If you want to see a penthouse in Brooklyn, watch this one. This is one of my favorite penthouses. I think they got a lot of things right. And if you want to join the buyer circle, link is in the description. I'll see you guys in the next video.